6 months, 7 months, nothing was happening. So I was scared about pressure from families, especially in-laws. It was like I was trying to make things happen, but nothing happened. So I had to just take it like that.
I'll be honest. My first reaction was, "Am I not ever going to have a child?" But it, the conditions at the time were looking like. But what if
Nothing
a
happened.
child never comes through? This is like 3 years already.
Marriage is one of those things that is widely celebrated in most parts of the world. With marriage comes some expectations, especially childbearing. In my part of the world, we have some sayings like, having children is the beauty or the joy of marriage. And on your wedding day, some people will come greeting you. We are coming to celebrate with you in the next 9 months, without considering the plans and the peculiarities of the couple. This puts a lot of people under undue pressure. Today, I have a couple who have had to wait for a few years before they had their first issue. Please, can we meet you?
I'm Oluwatosi.
And I'm Adeleke.
And
And
he's
this is Oluwatosi.
Welcome, Adeleke and Oluwatosin. So, for how long have you guys been married?
5 years.
5 years
5
plus.
years plus.
For how long do you have to wait before you had your first issue?
It took us a 4 years plus before it came into the picture. Almost 5 years before it was brought forth into the picture.
I understand that in our part of the world, people have expectations from you that in the first 1 year, especially they say 9 months, we're coming to celebrate with you. At what point did you realize that this thing might not happen within the first 1 year?
Okay, entering into the marriage, I was kind of expectant, like, okay, first year, like you said, that background thing would just happen. But since it didn't happen, close to a year, I went to the hospital to just know what's up. And unfortunately or fortunately enough, I went to a general hospital and the doctor was like, please get out of my sight, go and enjoy yourself for 1 year. And then after 1 year, we can talk. So it was the second year that we started, that I became conscious of the waiting thing more than.
I started really thinking about it about the like 2.5 years into our marriage. For me, the first year, second year, it wasn't a bother. Like, there's no rush. But when it was getting to the third year, close to the end of the third year, I'm like, okay,
What's up?
what's going on here?
Did you experience some pressures from your family and friends?
I think it would be a lot easier for you to say what reactions you noticed.
That I noticed. Well, I can't really say much on that. I don't know if his own families, maybe siblings, were asking him behind me, but they were not really coming out to me and all of that. But there was always that thing like, Tosi, don't worry, everything's going to be fine, like that. Especially when we have a family gathering. But on my own side, I don't have parents, but my eldest brother was always like, Tosi, how far? At some point, it was like he had to call me to his house. On my way from the office, I had to stop by. Like, okay, he was like, Tosi, what's up? What's happening? It's over 2 years. I was like, Egbon, don't worry. Everybody's calculator or time is not the same thing. I know I'm fine, and our children will come. Don't worry yourself. And I had to just like cut him short like that. Though by the third year, there was a little bit of questioning from just one person in the family, but it was not like putting me under duress like that. But it was like, this maybe you should go there, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that, maybe you should do this.
Okay. Was Orioke part of the recommendations?
Orioke was not part of the recommendation. Orioke was not part of the recommendation, but it was like maybe I should see a pastor, go, maybe I should do this, maybe I go like everything is fine, and I'm not the pastor kind of person. I am not the Orioke kind of person. I have a relationship with God, and whatever, if I can speak with, it's just like my husband would say, how can I go and meet an outsider to come and talk to my father to give me a gift when I can easily just go to my father to ask my father directly for daddy, I need this. That's how I see my relationship with God, and I ask, like, anything God cannot tell me, definitely there's going to be a sign. So even if another person is going to give me a vision or something, I should have seen something close to it. All I just need is a confirmation from the other person about what God has said already. So that was like it for me, and I'm like, anywhere I'm not going and all. But I think that's just like, so there was really no pressure. So I have good in-laws. They're good. They're sweet.
I think I like that part where you mentioned that somebody shouldn't talk to your father on your behalf. That's very instructive for me. For someone out there, your relationship with your God must be tight, must be something you want to guard jealously. Because when the chips are down, when you feel weak and you don't know what to do, then where you draw strength is from your source. And that's one point Tosin just mentioned. Thank you for that point, Tosin. So, Leke, let me start with you. How were you able to manage the pressures that came from your family and friends all through this waiting season?
First things first, like you said, by the time we were getting to that point where there was concern, and then recommendations here and there, one of the things that I had to do, how do you know? Okay, so one of the things that I had to do at that time was I had to get to a point where I had to draw clear boundaries, particularly with my family. I called my mom and I told her that we have both come to a decision that we will not be doing this anymore. All the prayers that we have prayed, we believe that God has heard us already. And all we need right now is to just thank Him. And we will just appreciate that anytime this comes to your mind, you just thank God for us. Like, just say a word of thanksgiving to God, like, thank you God for answering, and that was it. And because about this time, that particular year, was when this movie PK was out, and we had watched this movie PK. I had watched it about 4 times. And the guy had always reiterated that part about preachers telling the people to go so far, climb mountains, swim in rivers, rub themselves into the mud and stuff like that, and all of that just came together. So we just set those boundaries, and that was how everything like pressure stopped entirely. Boundaries, very, 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 very essential.
Having gone through this waiting thing for over 4 years, what advice do you have for the couples out there who are going through a similar thing? What principles did you learn from this process, and what advice do you have for them?
The first thing I'll say is you need to know why you are married in the first place. So the first question is, why exactly are you married? And they say if the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. And we have deviated from that line of thought, especially from marriage in many instances. Most people do not know why they are married, so they pursue the wrong interests. I'm not saying that having children is not important, but if that is that the reason why you got married? So you probably need to ask yourself again, and maybe sit down and ask your spouse, why did you marry me? Why did I marry this person? I didn't marry her because I wanted children.
I think for me, enjoy the process, enjoy it, enjoy your partner, enjoy yourself, enjoy work, enjoy the environment, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy hanging out and everything. Enjoy sex. Now, the sex that you're enjoying is not because you're trying to
You want to get
conceive.
pregnant.
No. Enjoy sex for enjoyment's sake.
Yeah.
Enjoy companionship. Talk,
Yeah.
ask questions, get to know yourself again and again and again.
Very, very
And that's
important.
one thing we do a lot.
One other
in
thing
life.
that we wanted to say is that use that opportunity of waiting to prepare for parenting.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with people who share your values, who share the principles that you believe in.
Yeah.
People who will sharpen you, who will help you.
Oh, wow.
And that's pretty much what we think. In summary, in a nutshell.
Thank you so much, Mr. Leke and Tosin Adekunle. Very wonderful story you just shared with us there. Let me run through the high point of the advice you have for people who may be going through the same stuff right now. Yeah, you said something about know why you are married. Purpose is very, very important. You talked about maximize your waiting time, focus on building yourselves, focus on building your business, focus on building your career. Use that to build yourself. You also talked about don't build your esteem around having a child. There are many people out there that because they don't have a child, they feel like they are not as valuable as some other people who do. You are not less of a woman, you are not less of a man because you don't have children. Don't build your esteem around children. And you also talked about resolve to enjoy yourself. Have all the enjoyment that you can have. Very key and very important. And then you also talked about build a support system, build support systems around yourself. Surround yourself with people who share your values and who can encourage you in your journey. And one last thing you mentioned is prepare for parenting. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today, Adeleke and Tosin.
Thank you for
and
having
thank
us.
you, Fikayomi. Fikayomi, can you please wave to your listeners? On this note, we draw the curtains on this episode of Life Transitions today. I believe you have learned one or two things from their story. I have had some other episodes where I talked about demystifying relationship myth, like who is the provider in the house. I also talked about the happiness myth. Please go to my channel or either on YouTube or my podcast channel and look at those videos again, and I believe they will be very helpful for you. And more importantly, subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell. Till we meet again in the next episode, keep grinding, keep winning, and keep bringing in the laurels. I believe in you. I'm Dele Ayo Bankole.